Tom Clark's Main Event is a Boink Studios production. And now, on with the show.
This is Daddy Show. Step off.
Hey, what is up? Welcome back to the program, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tom Clark, and this is Tom Clark's Main Event, episode number 193, going down live today. Hope you and yours are doing great. Hope you're having a really, really good, happy, healthy, and safe Friday. Happy Friday to you, one and all. Got lots and lots to talk about here today. Got a very big show coming your way. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. We've got all our regulars showing up again today, as always. Thank you very much, guys and gals, for giving me the time of day, for giving Wrestling Rumors the time of day. We do very much appreciate it. Remember to stay tuned to Wrestling Rumors for all of your pro wrestling news, WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything, including some more stuff by yours truly. I am getting back on the horse, as they say, or I'm attempting to. I've written some pieces in the past several days, and it's good to get behind the keyboard again and write something substantial. So baby steps here, folks. That's the plan. But right now I'm focused on AEW and New Japan content, not so much WWE. It's just personal choice. I wrote about WWE for a lot of years, folks, so I think I'm shifting my focus at this point. But it's good to get back out there and sort of get my feet under me again, as it were, in terms of the writing. So again, baby steps, one thing at a time. So I would appreciate if you guys would read my content, give me your input, tell me what you think. Feel free to comment. Feel free to bring anything up today that you'd like to. At the end of every show, we usually have an open floor where you and yours can talk about whatever it is you'd like to talk about, bring up whatever questions you may have, things that we've not discussed. We can get into all that today. So good morning to you, one and all. Let's say a few good mornings here before we get started. The first one on board was Shane. What up, Shane? How you doing, my friend? Sandy in Germany, what's going on? Doug, welcome back, my friend. Thank you for hanging out. Hello, Carlos Martinez. What's up? Thomas McCain. What's up, man? Shannon, thanks for hanging out again. Brandon says it's Tom, baby. There you go. I thought you said it's Tom Day. I'd take that. What's up, Victor? What's going on? Christopher, doing good, man. Hope you're doing good as well. Mark, what's going on with you, my friend? Belinda, what's up, Chad? Got all the usuals here. Got some more folks coming on board. Linda's here. Jim will be here, I'm sure, soon. What's up, James? Looks like we've got regulars here showing up. If you are tuning in, if any of you are tuning in today for the first time and you're not commenting, welcome. This is Tom Clark's Main Event. It's a pro wrestling podcast. Been going strong 7 years this year. This is episode 193. I'm your host today, aforementioned Tom Clark. Yes. This show's a blast, at least for me. I enjoy doing it. I've loved going live here on Wrestling Rumors. I thank Heidi Ryan and the whole crew of Wrestling Rumors for giving me this platform. As always, I say thank you. I do greatly appreciate it. So doing great here, Alma, Cherie. Hope you're doing great in Smoky, California. Please be safe out there, Cherie. We've got lots to talk about. It's a very big show today, as usual. But, folks, before we get started, I want to do something that I feel is pretty important. I feel like it's something that needs to happen, and I want you guys to bear with me for just a second. Today is 9/11. It's 19 years today. I don't know where does the time go, right? Yes, this is a pro wrestling podcast. Yes, this is a pro wrestling show, but I feel it's going live today of all days. I feel like we should pay respect to those who lost their lives on 9/11. 2,977 people perished that day in the terrorist attacks. Despite what your politics are, none of that really matters. But it's my show, and I feel like I owe it to the day and owe it to history, at least in some small way, to observe a moment of silence. So I'm going to ask everybody for the next moment to please don't comment, and bow your heads if you want to. Close your eyes for a second. If you're driving, I don't advise it, obviously. But let's give a moment of silence where it's due and pay some respects for just a moment, okay? Okay, thank you for that. I don't know if you folks know of anybody that lost their lives that day. I don't personally, but I've made connections over the years with people that have. If any of you have and want to share a quick story before we get started, please, by all means, I'm opening the floor up at the beginning of the show this time out. So if any of you have anything to say, now's the time. We're going to get to the pro wrestling, folks, I promise you. So if any of you are watching, like, what's going on? No, this is not a political podcast. Relax. It's all good. I just, pro wrestling's fun. It's important to me on a lot of levels, but what's more important to me is, life, family, love, all the above. And sometimes we have to know our priorities. So, yeah, if any of you have any quick stories to share, or if you'd rather just move on, it's completely up to you. So I just felt like it was the right thing to do. Tony says, I saw them fall from Jersey City across the river. Tony, that's powerful. I'm going to get upset here. Anyone that's watched the show long enough or knows me knows I dealt with a loss at the end of 2019. Still dealing with it. We've all lost people over the years, folks. And, it's just important. It's important that we know our priorities, keep family first, keep love a close second. And, it's cheesy and it's stereotypical and it's cliche, but if you've got people in your lives that you're not connecting with for whatever reason, make those connections, man. It's very important. It's very important. So, all right. So let's hit the ground running here, folks. If you want, we got stuff to talk about, loads of stuff to talk about. Let's kick this show off with the big dog, Roman Reigns in beast mode. Did you see him this past Friday Night SmackDown? Oh my goodness. The visual of Roman out there with Paul Heyman. It's mind-blowing, isn't it? To envision Heyman, to see Heyman in the ring alongside Roman and not Brock Lesnar. As we noted last week here on the program, Brock Lesnar is, as of right now, done with WWE. He is officially a free agent. We don't know what his next move is. There's nothing that's coming out from him or anybody else as to what's going on. We're not really sure what the deal is. Is he going to end up back in UFC? Is he going to – I don't think Bellator can afford him. We'll see what happens. There's AEW rumors. I wrote a column about that a few days ago. It's all speculation here, kids. We don't know what's going to happen. But Roman, at least his character, taking his fate, his destiny into his own hands. What is your opinion of Roman Reigns with the man, Paul Heyman? What are you guys thinking about that, man? Hello, Jamel in Vegas. You are a usual. Thank you very much for hanging out. So, what's your guys' opinion on Roman and Heyman? Here's what I'll tell you. I guess you can say Roman healed out. And look, folks, Roman is obviously a heel. That's the way they're going, and good for them. It's time to explore some more facets of this guy's character. Long, long time coming, okay? They feel emboldened with no live audience, yes? I assume that's what the reasoning is for this move at this time. I say go for it. It's all good. Heyman is heel, right? So thereby, Reigns is heel. But Reigns hasn't really done much he can't heel out on Seth says to heel. Moxley's not there for Roman to beat up. So, I think the time's coming when an attack on a beloved babyface is probably going to happen just to cement his heel status. I could be wrong. But, the fact that he would align himself with that, and he was called out on a SmackDown too by one of the Usos, right? And said, what are you doing aligning yourself with him after everything he put you through? But I think it's good storytelling. I think that we've not yet gotten to the root of this. And I like that we're not getting an explanation right now. I think that this is a storyline that is still evolving. So, Ray, what's up? Roman is a great heel with Paul, but fighting Jay is stupid. I don't know if I agree with that because, as I just said, he's going to establish himself as a heel. What better way to do that than to destroy one of his cousins? Hulk smash. Roman smash at this point, folks. I'll bet you that's what we're going to see. I would not be surprised. Alma says, will Roman form a new Shield group with Brock Lesnar? I don't see it, Alma. I get asked about a Shield group all the time. I don't think he needs to. I mean, it's fun to speculate. I just don't think it's necessary, in my opinion. Doesn't mean they won't do it. I don't think they need to. And Brock's not there anyway. No, I think he's going to destroy his cousin. I think he's going to, was it Clash of Champions? Which My kid and I were at that show last year, and yes, I miss going to live shows like you have no idea. I mean, we're in North Carolina. We could potentially go see Dynamite in Florida, but that's long haul. That's a 10-hour drive, baby. Belinda says it is his time. Yep. Victor says SmackDown was a solid show last week. Victor, I agree with you. Brandon says, I think it's a great buildup for the rumor is true if Rock and Roman at Mania. Brendan, I could see that, I suppose, but Mania would have to be in front of an audience, and we don't know that yet. I don't think The Rock's going to come back for a, studio appearance or for a non-live fan attending event, I guess I could say. We'll see what happens, though. No one will take Roman's top for a long time. Unfortunately, Tom says, ooh. Let's see. Shannon says, still kind of weird to be seeing him with Paul, but for so far has been a good move. Wish they would change his entrance theme. I think maybe they will. I don't know if they need to. Brock's still got the same music he's had for years, right? I don't know if they need to. I'd say slow it down, but it's pretty slow as it is, right? It's still the Shield music. So I don't know, man. I'd be okay with changing it. Something hard and heavy, though. You know what I mean? We'll see what happens. So, yeah, like I said, man, I'm a fan of this. A lot of people bagged on Roman for a lot of years. I bagged on Roman's creative direction. I never really bagged on his work too much because he's improved over time. Compare him today to when the Shield first debuted, it's light years difference. I'm sorry, it is. For anybody that doesn't give Roman enough credit for his work in the ring, you're silly, all of you. Not all of you people, but, the people who still bag on him. It's ridiculous. He's come light years. He's leaps and bounds above where he was before. And, he's worked the best of the best of the best. He's worked AJ. He's worked John Cena. He's, the top guys in that company. He's worked Orton, right? He's worked, Undertaker. Talk about learning a world of lessons from Taker, my friends. Are you kidding me? Yeah, he's done everything. I mean, he's worked everyone he could possibly work, right? So at some point, it kind of becomes, well, what am I going to do now? Well, let's turn heel and explore a different direction. The thing that works for him is that he's been heel before. It's not like this is, let's see if he can pull this off. No, he's fine. He was a heel for a long time. I think it's perfectly good. And who knew it would have looked this good? I think he and Paul look great together. And Paul gets to look much younger every time he's paired with a new face, right? I love Paul Heyman. I really and truly do. He's the one guy I've always wanted to interview. He's the one guy I've always wanted to hang out with. He's the one guy I've always wanted to do business with. Paul Heyman, a website called Heyman Hustle. And I was trying to come on board with him as a writer. But at the time, all their pro wrestling content was being covered by one of his other guys. So I was in contact with him. I was in contact with his people. They wanted to know if I could do some MMA stuff. I'm like, that's not really my thing. We could never come to an agreement on anything. I really wanted to work for the guy. I wasn't even caring about the money, dude. I didn't care about getting compensated. I just wanted my name next to his on his website. I wrote for John Bradshaw Layfield when he had the Layfield Report online. That was pretty cool. And I'm always happy to hang my hat on the fact that JBL still owes me $250. So there you go. And it's the truth. And I actually very much love to say that. I'm going to hang my hat on it, as it were. So Jamel says, I'm a Paul Heyman guy. I'm with you totally. Quentin says, still don't like Roman and really hate the fact that he's a Paul Heyman guy. Brother, hey, listen, man, it's on how you view it. It's on what you're where you're coming down from, man. I respect your opinion. Alyssa, what's up? Should be one Seth Rollins down the line. Seth Rollins not work heel. Well, the gimmick maybe has run its course. I don't know if it was ever over the way everybody thought maybe it could have been. And I love Seth to death. I think he's exceptional in the ring. But I'm with you. I don't know if it's ever been exactly what we thought it was going to be or could be. Danny says, imagine WWE brings in Jacob Fatu and feuds with Roman Reigns. Love it. Dig it. Love it. And WWE would love that too, because Fatu is basically Umaga, right? So why not? That'd be interesting to see. I'm usually not very high on people going to that company because I never know what they're going to do with them, but they take care of Fatu. I have no doubt in my mind they take care of him. They're taking care of Nia Jackson. Look how freaking dangerous that chick is. I'm sorry, folks. I call it like I see it. Elvis says, I'm a Tom Clark guy. Elvis, you just became my new number one fan. My new favorite fan. Tom says, I don't think it's a good move by WWE. I think down the road, Paul will turn on Roman to set him up for Brock to come back and fight Roman after Brock has time off. Thomas, they could go that route, but I'll counter that with this. I think there's a lot of very cool stuff they've not even touched on with Roman yet as being a top heel. A lot of cool roads they could go down. I'm in no hurry to see Brock Lesnar back. I'm in no hurry to see him and Roman have a face-off. I think keep this for the way it is. I'd stick with this for a year, at least 12 months. I'm not even joking. I wouldn't even pay this off at Mania next year. I just wouldn't do it. I'd keep this going for at least a year. But it's WWE. They knee jerk at really weird times. Jamel says, where is Cobb? Jeff Cobb is working for New Japan Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling. I think he's done their NJPW Strong stuff, I believe. And he's still Ring of Honor, to my knowledge. But I don't think he's AEW bound anytime soon. Not that anything that I've heard or read, I don't think that he is. We could all be surprised in each other. I'd love to see him in AEW full time, but he's in demand. He's got stuff to do. He's staying busy, which is good. You know what I mean? Jeff Cobb, as long as he stays in shape, this guy's always in shape, right? He's a monster. I think as long as Jeff Cobb wants to work in a ring somewhere, he's going to get work. Rob says, I don't know if you saw Impact, but Eric Young versus Tommy Dreamer was awesome. Tommy still looks like he is in his prime. I'm going to go back and watch that now that you mention it. No, I didn't see it. What's up, Tim? How you doing, my friend? Carlos says Vince must be relieving himself after seeing Rusev on Wednesday, plus all of his former guys going to AEW. Well, I don't know about getting nervous. I don't know why he'd get nervous. He doesn't care. But Elvis is taken into our next topic. How about this? Happy Miro Day. I don't know if you knew this, but it's Miro Day. That's right. What did you think about seeing the former Rusev on AEW Dynamite? I wrote a column this morning, posted it not long before I went on the air today live, talking about Miro Day, and it's called Miro Day in AEW, What Happens Next? Of course, exclusively on Wrestling Rumors. Please go give it a read. Give me your feedback. I'd love to know what you think about the column. But in the meantime, what do you think about Miro, about to call him Rusev, about Miro and AEW? Folks, here's what I'll tell you. I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and the very valid point was made when the question was posed, why do we see so many ex-WWE guys in AEW? Because WWE fires everybody. New Japan hasn't fired anybody. AEW hasn't fired anybody. Ring of Honor hasn't fired anybody. Major League Wrestling, Impact, no one's fired anybody. WWE fires everybody, right? Where are they going to go? They supposed to go home? They just supposed to fade away? They just supposed to act like they never were wrestlers? They didn't care about this business? No, they want to go earn a living. It's about money, folks. It's about money. Plus, they want to wrestle because they love the business, hopefully. They love the game. They're supposed to go home. Anybody out there has a problem with XWB Town, go to AEW. I got 2 words for you. Grow up. Grow up, because you're missing the point. If AEW were the biggest game in town and WWE was a contender and AEW was firing everybody, where do you think they'd go? Be honest. I mean, what's the difference here, people? What's the difference? Timothy says, I love it. Good move for him. I agree. Totally. Carlos says, what's going to happen, Lana, after Miro? I don't think anything's going to happen with her. I've not heard anything about she's in trouble. I've not heard anything about WWE's displeased with her. Thomas McCann says, seeing the RH Briscoe brothers Labor Day near my work at getting gas. They're great. I love Mark and Jay Briscoe. In fact, at HVW, we talked about bringing the Briscoes in. They're not cheap, baby. Believe that, okay? So we'll see one day down the road. You may see the Briscoes in HVW. That'd be a fun show, man. That'd be a fun show. Timothy's asking about All Out. We'll get there, my friend. That's on the docket for today. So we'll see. Seneca says, "Do you think Seth will retire after his baby comes?" No, but I think he'll take some time off. But I don't think he's retiring. Ooh, Elvis, all the best to you and your family, my friend. Let's see. Jamil says, "Love how the WWE guys cut promos about the glass ceilings and brass rings." It's a recurring theme, isn't it, Jamel? It's a recurring theme for the ex-WWE guys. And you know what? I'm not even going to call them that anymore. It's a recurring theme for guys that have worked for that company who are now applying their craft elsewhere. They got a story to tell. I don't think anyone should diss any of these guys or gals for telling their story. If their microphone's shoved in their face and they're told, go talk, go talk. What are you going to talk about? You going to paint the company that you used to work for with pretty colors, or are you going to tell the truth? If it's me, I'm going to tell the truth. I've written for websites before that I didn't think were top notch. I'm not going to mention them here, but I could. Scandalous. But I left for various different reasons. One of the primary reasons I left one of the websites I used to write for was that they just went for sensationalistic headlines. I didn't appreciate that. I don't believe in doing that. That's not what I'm in the game for. I'm in the game to write, to be creative, to write about what I see. My job is an analyst. That's what I am. I'm a pro wrestling analyst. I've always considered myself that. And, I'm a tabloid journalist. That's not what I consider myself to be. Ray says, I hope we're going to talk about the horrible mishap to the king of NXT, Adam Cole. You know what's funny, Ray, is I think now you're just having more fun with it because I pointed it out. It's all good. Tim, the last thing I heard about Cross was that it was going to be like a couple months maybe, but it may end up being a lot longer than that. So Jeffrey says XWB guys whine more than my 2-year-old. Jeffrey, I'm going to respect your opinion, man. I can tell you I disagree with you, but I know how it comes off. I hear what you're saying. You know what I mean? Here would be my only counter to you is I would look and see what happens after the initial promo. I think that the stuff with Miro is, let's see what he does now. Is he going to continue down that path, or is he just going to let it go and roll up his sleeves and get to work? I think maybe he'll roll up his sleeves and get to work. But we could be back here next week talking about this again because he can't let it go. We'll see. I respect your opinion, though, okay? I'll put it to you that way. Has anyone heard anything about WWE letting Billie Kay go? No, I haven't, but I would not be surprised. Billie Kay cannot work at all. I don't think she could work her way out of a paper bag, ladies and gentlemen. No disrespect. I'm talking about her as a worker, not as a person, okay? She doesn't have it, guys. I don't know what else to say. We've all seen that. We've known it for months and months and months and years and years and years. She's not. I mean, with all the talent that they've let go versus who they kept, you know what I mean? And I'm not looking for anyone to be let go. Please believe me when I tell you that. I'm not advocating for anyone to be let go on any level, especially during this time. Things are tight out there. I know. Trust me. Things are tight, man. It's not easy living in the world the way it is today. I mean, a lot of uncertainty. Uncertainty is getting worse and worse and worse by the day, it seems. So, yeah, man, I don't wish anyone losing their job on anybody. On anybody. So, Jeffrey says she'd do well as a manager. I don't hate that. Talking about Billie Kay, I don't hate that. She annoys the crap out of me, but she's supposed to. She's a heel, right? I don't hate that at all. Who would she manage? I'd put her as a manager of a guy. That'd be different, right? Why not? She'd be like the Vicky Guerrero of managers in that company. They've lost Vicky, so you know. Shane says Wolfie D of PG-13 hospital, blood clots in his heart. He had knee surgery a week ago and rushed from back yesterday. All the best to him and his family, Shane. Thank you for telling me that. I did not know it. So everybody's talking about firings today. This must have just happened this morning or something because I've not read anything about any of this. I'll have to get myself caught up. I was writing this morning and doing some show prep, so I didn't have a chance to really read much of anything else. My kid's doing homework right now. Well, not homework, but schoolwork. If any of you guys have kids who are having to work remotely from home, it's a nightmare. Just saying. So, yeah, we're dealing with it. His mother and I are dealing with it. So, all right, folks, let's move on with the show here. Let's talk about this. I just watched the replay. Finn Balor is your new NXT champion. Defeated Adam Cole. Adam Cole is as babyfaces get at this point. He was very complimentary of Balor, said the better man won. He didn't heel out the slightest. He didn't, oh, woe is me, that kind of thing. Adam Cole was flat out babyface. Don't know how that's going to sit with the rest of the Undisputed Era, the UE at this point. We'll see what goes on, what goes down. My guess is that the group disbands at some point, but people have been predicting that for a long time. Hasn't happened yet. So we'll just have to wait and see what goes down. But very, very good match. Top notch. We didn't expect anything any less from these guys. And yeah, I just rewound it again. I say rewound, but you guys know what I mean, right? So yeah, you see Balor there in front of the X, and he's got the towel around his waist, and what a great visual that is, man. So yeah, he's like I said, I don't know how many of you saw it coming. How many of you picked Balor? I picked Balor. I think last week I said Balor for the championship for the win. So we'll see what goes down now. But yes, Balor, NXT champion, your new NXT champion. So how do you guys feel about that? Adam Cole will be getting called up. Well, we'll see. Ray says, I'm sorry, Sheree says, I feel you on that one. I'm parent a high and I have 2 teenagers. Oh, yeah, it's terrible. It's awful, isn't it? It's freaking terrible. So Ray was just upset. Ray's fuming. Horrible decision. Adam Cole is king. I'm sick. Why are they messing with his greatness? Maybe he's going. He and the Undisputed Era are going to Raw. I don't know, man. Alma, happy birthday to your aunt. There you go. My kid's birthday was last week. You guys know that, right? So he turned 12 last week. I'm only getting older. I got 1 foot in the grave here, folks. No joke. So for those of you who maybe are just tuning in, you're not commenting, please feel free to comment. Please feel free to say hello. I'm Tom Clark. This is Tom Clark's Main Event, Pro Wrestling Podcast, hosted by, well, me. So there you go. If you're just watching the show for the first time, thanks for hanging out. Really quick, before we go any further, I will remind you of my other podcast, Tom Clark's 6M Podcast. We focus on movies, music, Marvel, miniseries, magazines, and more. And the show is dropped, new episodes drop every Tuesday. It's about a lot more than just pro wrestling. It's about everything I just named. Our last episode this past Tuesday dropped was Star Wars Episode 4, New Hope. Me and co-host Greg Ramsey did a complete a look at the film, talked about backstage information, backstage news, memories of seeing the film in the theaters, memories of the characters and what we love about the Star Wars universe. Guess what, folks? Episode 5 is dropping this coming Tuesday. Immediately after this show here today, go to my Facebook page, Not Wrestling Rumors, Tom Clark's Facebook page, or the 6M Podcast Facebook page. I'm going to do an episode 5 reveal. This is going to be fun. You're not going to want to miss it. There you go. Shameless plug. We're back to pro wrestling. How about that? Let's see. Hello, James. What's going up, my friend? Did I say what's going up? I meant that. I didn't really mean that. It's cool. Thank you, Ray. Appreciate it. Shannon says, well-deserved after his bad run on the main roster. May I remind you that he never lost Universal title. Unlike Vince, Triple H knows how to book his talent. Good point. Good point. Yeah. So Carlos echoing the sentiments and the thoughts of a lot of other people out there. Maybe the UE are some of the members at Retribution. That's one of the things going around right now. DeMarco says, I say, Adam, God, the comments are going in fast. That's awesome. You guys keep talking to me, okay? Yeah, there you go. So, yeah, man, it's different. Seeing Balor back in NXT is a different thing. When he first came back to the company, I didn't know or back to the brand, I didn't know what to think. Is somebody here? I just heard wheels on the driveway. No, ladies and gentlemen, you're one of the best. You got the best 12-year-old in the world.
Oh, it's too bright.
What's too bright? The light?
Yes.
Everyone say hello to the boy.
How come you took my light?
You're sure no one's here?
I didn't hear anyone.
I just heard wheels on the gravel.
It was probably your neighbors.
It's Vince McMahon. He just showed up. He's tired of me talking crap. I'm kidding. I don't talk crap. I sling mud.
I'm done.
Are you done for real?
Mm-hmm. I just got done.
You're done with everything. Were you talking to your teacher and get it figured out?
Mm-hmm.
You promised me.
Yes.
So what was the last message she sent you?
The link.
Okay, so you got it done.
Yes.
All right. We got to get updates, kids. I'm live on the air. This is live TV, but it's real life right now, baby. So, yes. Everyone's saying hello, calling you the boys. There you go.
Oh, my leg hurts.
So, yes, I'm just now watching Balor backstage. Triple H just shook his hand. Huh? No, because you know what he'll do. We see Balor backstage. His chest is bloodied. He's looking great. Look like $1 million. Finn Balor is. Yeah, it's odd seeing him back in NXT. I mean, he's been there for a little while, but man, I love him as NXT champion. I'm digging the crap out of it, man. I really am. So, hey, everybody, thank you for being nice to my kid. I appreciate it. Okay. So, by the way, my son and I have our own podcast. It's called Tom Clark's 30-Minute Fun Show. And we've got episode 50 coming up soon. That'll be fun. So, If you guys just want to hear a grown man and a 12-year-old kid riding around talking about life and weird stuff and fanboy stuff, then it's the show for you. And if you're not into it, you may not care about it. So, huh?
There's someone here. I don't know the card.
Okay, well, they don't have to come in, do they? We have a visitor. They're not coming in. Don't open the door.
I know. I'm
All right.
see.
Anyway, real life, folks, I'm not cutting the show short. We hang out on Fridays, don't we? Don't split. I'm not splitting, so they can wait. So let's see. Marcus says Mysterio family will use the kind of stock on Tom Clark. The kendo stick. Got you guys. I thought it said kinda. There you go. Kendo sticks can hurt. Trust me when I tell you that. If swung by the right person on the right day in the right moment, ouch. So Ray, of course, a massive Adam Cole fan, says watching Finn win made me actually sick. Jamel says prefer him in NXT versus the main roster being wasted. From your lips to the ears of God, my friend, for sure. Let's talk about ratings, kids. This week, Friday Night SmackDown came in at 2.066 million versus last week's 2.181 million. So they've lost some viewers over the course of the past 7 days. Raw this past Monday Night Raw, 1.725 million versus 1.89 million last week. So they've lost some as well. Not the end of the world. We've always told you guys about the ratings for these shows. You take it or leave it. It may or may not mean anything to you. May or may not be special to you, important to you. Maybe you don't even care. But we do like to spread the information. We do like to talk to you guys about it and get your feelings, your thoughts, and see what you guys think about that kind of stuff. So, again, we don't have to spend too much time on it.
It's the 2020 census.
Oh.
Something in the door.
Notice a visit. Well, guess what, kids? Be sure you're doing the census so they can tax you even more heavily next year. Pay your taxes, okay? Notice a visit. U.S. It's Department of Census 2020. We haven't done our census yet.
What is that?
It's where you tell the government who you are, where you live, so they can tax you even heavier. That's not really the truth.
Well, don't do that.
I know, right? I'm with him. So yeah, again, do the ratings mean anything to you? Are you paying attention? Are you paying attention to any of the ratings? Do you care? Let's see. Brendan says, is Barrett replacing so as far as replacing Miro, Ronaldo is gone from WWE. Hate to see it. I hope he lands on his feet. Another pro wrestling company. Don't know what company we're talking about. I'd love to see it happen. I'll see him calling New Japan again. That'd be fun. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens with him. But Wade Barrett, I don't know if he's back full time, but it looks like he's found a new home in NXT. I love him on the mic. Stu Bennett. There you go. So I've always loved that guy from day one of the Nexus to right now. I've always been in the bag for him. So census is Tom's new gimmick. There you go. The census dodger. So Alyssa says Seth Rollins needs to go back to NXT. But the problem, if Seth goes back to NXT, he runs the land. He rules the roost. Is that what you want? Because that's what's going to happen. Do you really want to see that? I mean, you're seeing it on Raw every week. If you're sick of it now, imagine him doing it on the black and gold brand. Is that really what you're down for? I don't know if I am, to be honest with you. I don't know if I'm down for it. Shane says, I thought Otis would interfere in the Adam Cole Balor match and cash it in. Would have been a great spoiler. That would have been fun, kids. I like that idea. Very cool. Timothy says, doesn't care about the ratings for Raw and SmackDown. Do you care about Dynamite and NXT? Because that's coming up soon. All right, folks, let's get to the All Out results. A great big pro wrestling show happened this past Saturday night. In case you don't know, now you know. Daly's Place in Orlando, Florida. That's right, kids. All Elite Wrestling came at you with their huge, big-time event. Let's run down the card real quick. We're talking about the pre-show here. The oh my God, what's their pre-show called? The buy-in, right? There you go. Joey Janela with Sonny Kiss defeated Serpentico with Luther. Private Party defeated the Dark Order of Alex Reynolds and John Silver. Big Swole, and that was your the buy-in. The show kicked off with a match that maybe should have been on the buy-in. Big Swole defeated Dr. Britt Baker in what we were led to believe is her office. What did you guys think of the match? Timothy says, what a show last Saturday night. Yes, Casey, thank you very much, my friend. The buy-in. Jamel's chanting FTR. FTR did exactly what they said they were going to do. That's how you get legitimacy in the business, folks, is you go in, you tell the fans what you're going to do, then you do it. I mean, it helps to be booked that way, right? But I'm saying that's how you build someone from the ground up, is you don't let them come out and tell a bunch of falsehoods, a bunch of stories that aren't going to come true, because then no one believes, no one cares, and ultimately you fall flat on your face. So, FTR came in and said exactly what they were going to do, and they did it. We'll see how they handle them from here on out. Michael says I didn't care for the Baker match. I totally agree. It was what it was. It was a silly bit of comedy. If you found it funny, I don't know that I found it funny. I mean, like I said, it is what it is. It's kind of there for me. It wasn't anything. It wasn't anything great. Christopher with a good take. Typical cinematic match. It served its purpose. It was entertaining. Well, there you go. There you go. Jamel says I would prefer a real match. Jamel, if I'm being honest, if I'm guessing, I would say that Baker's not there yet. So they were able to protect her in this environment. So Reba was there and we got to see her being awful. No offense. Just saying. It was an odd fit for me. But you know what, folks? Like I said before, it is what it is. And when Baker is 100% ready to go between the ropes, I'm sure that she will. And everything will be great. It won't be an issue anywhere. So we'll see. Timothy says Thunder Rosa versus Shida was a great match. We will get there, my friend. So next match on the card, Young Bucks defeated to the Jurassic Express. This was a good match. I don't know if I'd call it a great match. It was entertaining. It had some fun moments. What do you guys think of the tag team match? Do you have any comments about it? In the meantime, let's shoot to the next one. The 21-man Casino Battle Royale. Lance Archer won the match by technically eliminating Eddie Kingston, though Eddie Kingston wasn't technically eliminated. And he brought that up on this past episode of Dynamite. I think we all kind of called Archer winning the match. I think we all kind of predicted that's what was going to happen, and that's exactly what went down. Brad says that's just when AEW and WWE, the storylines of WWE are old and outdated. Well, there you go. Shane says, I don't know what AEW is doing with Kingston. Well, I'll put it to you this way, Shane. He just got there, so let's reserve judgment. Not that you're judging. Let's reserve judgment until we know for sure. I'll tell you this, 110% from me to you. I give this company a lot more leeway than I give anybody in WWE. Do you want to know why? Because AEW has not really let me down for years and years and years. Not personally let me down, but not fulfilled, not come through on a storyline, left the plot line dangling for a year. Went one direction on Monday, changed it by the next Monday, treated the talent like complete crap, showed talent at the door when it wasn't their time, bashed talent for whatever reason, not giving people the opportunity that maybe they should have had or could have had, doing nonsensical booking that makes no sense to anyone except Vince McMahon. AEW's not done any of that for me. Now, if they've done it to you, it's a different story. If you have the same feelings about All Elite Wrestling, listen, I'm not going to, tell you I disagree with you or tell you you're wrong. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel, okay? But for me, from where I'm sitting right now, personally, I've not had those feelings about this company. Now, they're only a year old at this point in October, right? I may have these feelings about AEW down the road. If I do, I do. But right now, I give them the benefit of the doubt until they prove me wrong, until they start developing a track record of not following through on angles, storylines, characters, all that stuff. I give them the benefit of the doubt. You can call that naive. You can call that wishful thinking if you'd like to. I perfectly understand where you're coming from. And listen, some of you folks are hardcore WWE guys. I respect that. I don't understand it fully because if you're a pro wrestling fan, you'll watch all the pro wrestling you can possibly get your hands on. AEW is pro wrestling. But you know what? I'm not going to tell you what to like. Completely your choice. Ren says, "Are Undertaker going to show his face from time to time?" Maybe. I don't know what the point would be at this juncture, if I can use that word. I don't know what the point of it would be, but sure, why not? We'll see. What do you think of the Darby Allin stunt with the body bag? We'll get there, Christopher. Hated it, but we'll get there. Michael says, I like AEW, but I'm seeing way too many WWE traits, especially with all WWE guys coming in and getting titles. But Michael, again, as I said to you earlier in this show today, XW talent want to go wrestle. How many pro wrestling companies are working right now on big stages, on big platforms? AEW, New Japan, Ring of Honor when they fire back up, Impact maybe, right? I mean, they want to go somewhere where they can make some money, ply their craft, and feel like they're improving their careers. Where else would you go? And at this point, Michael, you and a lot of other people, myself included at times, got to quit considering these guys to be XWB stars. I mean, does anyone call Jericho XWB star? They call him a pro wrestler now. You see what I'm saying? Jericho, he's an XWCW wrestler. No one holds that against him. No one says, well, by God. Dustin's a former NWA wrestler. No one says, Dustin Rhodes is ex-NWA, guys. Okay, come on. No one's doing that. I'm not ripping on you, bro. I promise you. I'm just making a point here. People get all bent out of shape by the XWB stuff. And I understand to some degree, but in a lot of other ways, I don't have a clue why they get so upset about it. I don't know. Maybe that's just my point of view. So Michael says, I understand what they want to work, but it feels like AEW is pushing it on town. Fair point. Fair point. I'm not going to argue that. I see where you're coming from. If we keep seeing an influx of former WWE stars and the AEW quote unquote homegrown talents, if the homegrown talents end up not getting title shots or getting titles or, not getting on TV, that starts happening more and more and more and more. Yeah, I'll probably share your opinion too. I'll probably see where you're coming from. I mean, honestly, I can kind of understand. I kind of understand that. You know what I mean? I can't get mad at that. Like I said, that's a fair point. Shane says, I love that Kenny Omega and Hangman Page are going back to being singles wrestlers. Omega versus Brody Lee, Page versus MJF. I want to see those matches. Oh, that'd be fun, man. That'd be fun for sure. So let's keep going down the list here, shall we? Let's get to the one that everybody's still talking about. Matt Hardy defeated Sammy Guevara in one of the scariest moments I've ever seen in a pro wrestling match. I thought Matt was dead. At the very least, I thought he was going to be paralyzed from this. Thank God he's not. I'm a big Matt Hardy fan, always have been. I got the opportunity to interview Matt face-to-face years ago. He and I kept in touch over the years. And he's a great guy. He's a Carolina boy, so I got all the respect in the world for that, right? But he's just so good at what he does. Very, very smart cat. And thank goodness he's okay. Thank goodness he's healthy. Apparently doesn't have a concussion. But he came out this past Dynamite and he said what he needed to say. He's like, look, I'm going to take time for me. He thanked everybody. He teared up a little bit. I kind of did too, if I'm being honest. But, he thanked everyone and said, it could have been a lot worse, but I'm glad to be here. And he's not done. He said, I'm not done. So, what's funny is the longtime, guy that watches WWE, that guy in my head, you know what he was doing? I'm waiting for somebody's music to play. I'm waiting for Sammy to come out and slap him. I'm waiting for a swerve to happen. Didn't happen. That's what happens when you watch WWE for X number of years, and it gets into your freaking head, into your way of thinking. You're kind of expecting the swerve. No swerve. They let him come out and talk the way they should have. Rebby was in the crowd with his newborn, and it was awesome. And he talked about his kids at home, and it was really, really cool. So, yes, I'm very glad to see Matt okay. The match should have been stopped the moment he hit the floor. They never should have restarted the match. They went out there and climbed that structure inside the actual arena itself. And, Sammy had to help Matt climb the friggin' thing. That never should have happened. I mean, the match was a train wreck through no one's fault. I'll put you this way. The table shouldn't have been set up. Coming off a scissor lift at that height was not a good idea. I never recommend that to anybody. It's too dangerous. You can't see where you're falling. If you can't see where you're going, and the other guy's got his head down and can't see where you're going either, bad things are probably going to happen. That's the problem. It was very uncontrollable. It was very high risk with a very little reward. It was a very uncontrolled environment. They need a lot more than a couple of tables set up. They needed a great big structure. They needed something massive, a huge crash pad for him to fall on. It could have been built to look like a stage. Could have been built to look like anything other than just two tables put together. Absolutely ridiculous. I'm not going to vent anymore about that or rant. It was absolutely terrible. Michael says, I follow AEW Facebook page where Sammy reached out to an autistic girl that was a huge Sammy Inner Circle fan. And a lot of people were making fun of her. And I thought it was literally one of the coolest things ever for Sammy to reach out to her. Michael, well done. I love that story. I have not seen that. Great story. Good guy, too, I think. Timothy says Matt Hardy versus Sammy. That was an awesome match. Couldn't believe he was able to stand up. I don't know about awesome. It was scary. It was scary as all get out. So Carlos says he'll probably take the rest of the year off. I wouldn't doubt it. Christopher says, just my opinion, they're getting reckless. Brother, I'm sorry. I agree. And at some point, here's the deal, folks. That company's different than WWE. You guys know that. At WWE, you have producers. You have former wrestlers, whatnot, who handle the matches. They produce the matches. I don't think AEW is doing that. That's what I've heard for a year, is that they don't have producers. They have guys backstage who give advice and they help out where they're needed, but they don't necessarily have like, okay, Arn, you've got this match. Tully, you got this match. Dean Malenko, you got this match. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe I'm dead wrong, but that's kind of what I've been led to believe over the past 12 months. But so having said that, I don't know how many eyes were on this stunt before it happened. How many people were in the loop on this? Was Tony Khan even in the loop? I can't answer that. I would think so, but I don't know, right? How many people were in on the fall before the fall ever happened? Because at some point you would think one of those people would have spoke up and said, this looks a little dangerous, man. I don't know if this is a good idea. Can you see where you're falling? Can we get something bigger to go down here? 2 tables aren't enough. You would think somebody at some point would have seen that. Quentin says they should have stopped the match. I agree. They did, but they should never have restarted. I heard AEW is going to have another shit. Yes, they're going to have what's the name? Full Gear. There it is. Full Gear is coming up. Brandon says, I say Colt versus Brody soon for the TNT title. Colt going over to set up the Cody and Brody feud more. Well, maybe. We'll see what happens. Shane says, did you see the Viking Red? Yeah, that was big for Ivar, man. Oh yeah, the X has been used for years. But the problem is the fans found out about the X, and now they use the X in matches where they don't even need it, just for dramatic effect, which is awful. What a terrible thing. I mean, yeah, Ivar really needed help, and supposedly he's okay. We'll see what happens here, folks. Talking about recklessness and guys, maybe not being dangerous intentionally, but, the thing falls apart. I'm glad Ivar's okay. Apparently he's okay. I'm very glad Matt's okay. We don't want to see anyone get hurt. That's not the point of it. The point of pro wrestling is to make you think that you're killing your opponent when in actuality, the guy's getting a night off. That to me is one of the best compliments that you could receive as a wrestler is when your opponent says it was a night off, because that means, especially if the match was great, you know what I mean? Or at least very good, because that means you can do your job and play your part and make it look believable without the other guy getting up off the mat going, oh God, I can't walk. That's not the point here, folks. You have to be able to wrestle tomorrow night. You got to make the town, as the saying goes. You know what I mean? If you're going in there legitimately hurting guys, whether intentional or unintentional or whatever, first of all, it's intentional. You shouldn't have your job for very long. There's someone in WWE that needs to learn that lesson. Yes. Sloppy ring work, untrained, dangerous. That kind of stuff is not what we saw this past weekend. Matt Hardy is a pro. He's a veteran. He knows exactly what he's doing. I just think the setup for this stunt was pretty bad. No, I don't think AJ is gone from wrestling. Mark, the last thing I heard about the AEW action figures, Mark. Action figures, Mark. The last thing I heard about them was that Walmart was sold out every time you went to order them. Kind of sounds like AEW tickets, no? So, yeah. Let's go with the rest of this card here, folks. Let's see what we got here. Hikaru Shida defeated Thunder Rosa in what I believe was the match of the night for the AEW World Women's Championship. Top-notch match. I enjoyed every second of it. 8-man tag of Matt Cardona, Scorpio Sky, and the Natural Nightmares. Of course, Dustin and QT. Versus the Dark Order was Brody Lee, Colt Cabana, Evil Uno, and Stu Grayson. Really good match. Fun match, too. I enjoyed this match. I really did. I thought it was really good. Someone mentioned FTR earlier. Yes, sir. FTR, Cash, and Dax with Tully winning the AEW World Tag Team Championships. Orange Cassidy defeated Chris Jericho by knocking him into the vat of mimosa. It's a Mimosa Mayhem match, folks. You heard it right. So it was different. I can't say I was in love with it. I wasn't really a great fan of it. I respect Chris for once again doing something different, for not settling for the same old crap you see over and over and over again. Some people immediately start calling this a WWE match. I don't know if I feel that way. It was a silly gimmick match, but their feud's not over. I'm not really sure why the feud's not over. I mean, that was the third match that puts, Orange up, 2-1. So I guess now the idea is there'll be a fourth match to even the odds. But what happens then if Jericho wins? Does that mean they'll go for a fifth? They could. We'll see. Then, of course, the main event, John Moxley defeated MJF. He hit the paradigm shift behind the referee's back. There you go. Timothy says, I'm so happy for FTR. Jamel is still chanting FTR. Michael says, I hated the Jericho match. Yeah, dude, I wasn't a fan of it either. James says, how do you feel about Bayley turning on Sasha last week on SmackDown? I don't think it was necessary. I think they teased it one too many times. And now at this point, I don't know if I care about the storyline. I keep up with WWE in terms of doing this show, in terms of keeping myself abreast of what's going on. But I'm not keeping up with it in terms of I'm focusing on each and everything that happens. I'm being honest with you, I'm not. But I followed this enough to know that they were doing really good work together. And I don't know why in the world you would turn that now. Why would you just turn the off switch on them now? I just don't get it. Robbie says Mike Rotunda just got fired from WWE backstage. His expertise would go great backstage in AEW. He knows the business. I could not agree with you more, my friend. So Michael says the Mox match was really good. I totally agree with you. He and MJF tore it up as we all knew they would. We didn't doubt it for a second. And now, if we're going to hit ratings, okay, if you don't know the latest from AEW Dynamite, have I got a number for you? All of you out there who say that ratings don't really mean too much to you, don't really care about them too awful much. Well, tell me what you think when you see this, because I don't know if I expected this, but maybe I did. Let's just get to it. This week, AEW, 1.016 million fans for AEW Dynamite. Now, they ran unopposed. This is true. NXT ran unopposed on that Tuesday before, except for NBA. Didn't NBA happen on Tuesday night? NXT 838. Last week compared AEW, again, unopposed, 928, NXT 849. Okay, so AEW obviously got the bump from All Out. Fans wanted to tune in to see what happened after that. NXT is doing well without AEW competition. AEW is doing extremely well without NXT competition. Ladies and gentlemen of the Tom Clark's main event universe, of the Wrestling Rumors universe, I submit to you that the decision must be made to move NXT. Folks, move it. Just move it. Do you want to know why they won't? More than likely. You want to know why they won't? Because Vince cares more about gutting AEW than he does about growing NXT. If you didn't hear that, draw close to your mic, pull the phone a little closer to your ear, zoom in this ugly mug so you can hear it from me. Vince McMahon cares more about gutting AEW than he does about growing NXT. That's it. Turn the show off. We're done. We're not really done. Don't go anywhere. Tell me I'm wrong. Prove to me I'm wrong. Try it, please. They could put the NXT program on another night and have really, really good ratings and probably start topping 1 million themselves. Maybe. Don't you think it's possible? But they won't. AEW could be left alone to grow their audience, which is good for who? The wrestling business, folks. It's good for the wrestling business. The more successful companies they are, the good it is, the better it is for the wrestling business. It's not good for Vince's wrestling business. That's why he wants to cut it, gut him. That's what he wants right now. Tell me I'm wrong and prove me wrong. Jamel says wrestling fans like them on different days. Excellent point. Fans are like, I don't want to do the head-to-head. I don't want to choose one and watch it on a DVR. I want to watch both. Listen, they want to. God, Jamel, thank you for that, dude. They want to watch both shows, but it's hard. But you put them on separate nights, it's not that hard anymore. And it's obvious by these numbers that we just saw that we're seeing at the bottom of the screen right now. It's obvious. They want to watch. Don't make it so hard, Vince. Yikes. Don't make it so hard, man. There's hardcore WWE fans that would go, what do you think you know, pal? Okay, sure. If you're going to get nasty, I guess you can, but geez. Shannon says MJF and Jericho are taking credit on Twitter for the ratings. What else would you expect from them? Did you see that interaction between them at the beginning of Dynamite? That was great stuff. I'm like, why are they being so freaking nice to each other? That was awesome. It was awesome. Brad, I don't know if I'd call Vince a money-hungry fool. I don't know if I'd go to that extreme. I will say that Vince has still got that it's me against the world mentality. Everyone's trying to hurt me, and I'll show them because I won't go down without a fight. And at the end of this thing, I'm going to be the last man standing. In 2020, I don't know if that fits anymore. Look, no one's really a threat to WWE. We can talk about AEW, and we do. We can talk about New Japan, and we do. We can talk about Ring of Honor, and I hope to be talking about them again because they're doing TV tapings. Yay! I can't wait. I really miss Ring of Honor. I'm not even lying to you folks. No one's competition for Vince in the pro wrestling business, kids. They're just not. Doesn't mean they can't be one day, but Vince has no competition. In Vince's mind, he won the war years ago. No one's as good as he is, and his company is the top dog. But that's not enough. You know what I mean? You have to continue to step on people who want to put themselves in your and try to put themselves in your atmosphere. Step on them. I submit that you don't need to do that. This isn't about, I manufacture this product and it's the best product around. This competitor has a product that's inferior. But the fact is, the more competition, the better it is for this business. Do you know what I mean? It's just better. It breeds more fans. It grows more fans. It's growing newer fans, younger fans. Folks, think about it. If you hook a kid right now with the AEW product when he's 16, who maybe never cared about pro wrestling before, but now he thinks AEW is pretty cool, it could open the door to NXT and New Japan and Ring of Honor and WWE. And what happens? You have a fan for life. And guess what happens when his kids are born? What happens with him and his friends? What shows do they go see? What are they spending their money on? You have to grow the fan base, folks. WWE is down to the bare minimum hardcore fans at this point, and it's obvious. NXT has their hardcore base. The hardcore base is great. I'm a member of the hardcore base. You guys are too, right? Most of you. We're awesome. But the business doesn't grow with the hardcore base. They grow with more fans coming on board. Do the math, folks. You know what I mean? The more money being thrown at the product, the more eyes on the product, the better the ratings, the bigger the company can grow, the more talents they can sign, the better the talents could possibly do in the future in a perfect world. Not a perfect world, but you get what I'm saying. All of that leads to this. It's the open floor. Let's hit a few minutes of this before we split for the day. What are you guys thinking? Quinn says if New Japan have TV time here in the States, to be with me serious trouble. I don't know about serious trouble, Quinn, because here's what I'll counter with. I love the New Japan product to death. I've been in love with that company. I make no apologies for that at all. At all. Okay. But I will say this. A lot of casual fans don't have any idea what AEW what New Japan is. And if they look at that, they're going to see a lot of Japanese wrestlers that they've never heard of. I'm just calling like I see it. It doesn't mean they wouldn't give it a chance, maybe. But to say that WWE would be in serious trouble, here's what I think. Now, listen to your point. If you want to get real about this, imagine New Japan and AEW joining forces with Ring of Honor. Not going to happen. But imagine if they did. It's a fantasy world, kids. We're just speculating. Victor says, what about JR's comment about Anna Jay? Tasteless. I think he knew it. No point in it. I just don't get it. People gave him a really hard time. Did they give Jerry Lawler the hard time they gave Ross over one comment when Jerry Lawler spent 30 years on commentary doing the same stuff, much, much worse? I don't know, folks. Shree says, I think NXT should go to Thursday. There is nothing on Thursday. I'd vote for that. They could have NXT Thursday and SmackDown on Friday. Why not? Why not? Timothy says, I saw NXT a couple weeks ago and I wasn't even impressed with the show. To each his own, man. I've said that forever. To each his own, for sure. Mark says, are McIntyre and Orton changing titles again? Maybe. Yeah. Maybe so. We'll see. They're talking about a draft again. Did I read something somewhere about another draft? I don't know. Brandon says, is AJ going to retire? Saying, who would be great for his last match? I don't know, man. That's a good question. That's a great question. Brenton, in my opinion, the list of choices in that company is dwindling for him. Don't you think? I mean, after you've worked Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Undertaker, Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho, who else has AJ worked? Nakamura, obviously. Brock Lesnar, right? Did I say Roman Reigns? Who's left? They're not exactly making new stars right now. Do you know what I mean? Shane says, I love the 6M podcast. How about a Walking Dead show? They're in the show after season 11. Shane, brother, you know what? I'm taking that under advisement, my friend. Thank you for that, Shane. Before we sign off here today, folks, I'm going to remind you again about Tom Clark's 6M podcast. If you're into stuff other than pro wrestling, the new episodes of the 6M drop every Tuesday. This past episode was Star Wars. The first episode we did was the NWO. Then it was the Incredible Hulk. The third was, what was our third? The third was Metallica. The fourth was Star Wars: A New Hope. And the fifth episode is, I'm not going to tell you. You have to tune in as soon as this is over. Tom Clark's Facebook page, the 6M Podcast Facebook page for the episode 5 reveal. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be fun. Thank you, Shane, for that. Are you waving? What are you waving for?
All right, I'm going to go play with John because he just got here.
He just got here?
Yeah.
You're done with your work?
Yes.
You promised me you're done with your work.
I promise I'm done with everything.
I'll put you through a table if you're lying to me. And you'll sell it too. I'm not kidding. I'm going to check behind you. Fatherhood. Nothing like threatening your kids with a little bodily harm, folks. Helps keep them in line. You see? Keep the boy in line. Right? So I find that waving the gun around works too. That's the joke. Somebody give me a drum roll. Good stuff. Let's see. Do you think AJ will go? Orlando, I'm sorry I didn't say hello to you earlier, my friend. Do you think AJ will go back to Impact Wrestling before he retires? I'd love to see it. Call it a day. Bring his career full circle. I'd be okay with that. Hall of Fame was moved to 2021. There you go. Keith says, if Clash of Champions, there may be a draft. Rumor is AJ wants Triple H to be his last match. I like Hunter. Okay, folks, but yikes. Hunter's winning that match. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Yes, sir, Brandon, for sure. Ray says, will Adam Cole win a belt again? No. I'm just kidding, Ray. Ray's having a seizure right now. Jamil says, just enough to keep them on their toes. Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Mark. Hey, guys, again, I'm getting out of here. Listen, man, thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. You know, I appreciate you guys, right? The downloads for the month of September were quadrupled what they were in August. Please keep it up. Remember, you can find Tom Clark's Main Event on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and the YouTube. And you can find Tom Clark's 6M Podcast on the same locations. Please join me on Tom Clark's Facebook page immediately after this, or the 6M Podcast Facebook page. If we're not friends, what's going on in the world? Be my friend. Follow my stuff. It's all free. What more do you want? Go to the pages, man. Immediately when I click off from here, I'm going to be there. I'm going to give you an episode 5 reveal. 5 time. You get it, right? You get it. All right, man. I'm going to get out of here. Listen, thanks again to everybody for tuning in. Thanks to everybody for hanging out. You know I love you guys, right? All of you. Thanks again for making Fridays fun for me and making this show fun as always. We're getting out of here, man. That's it for me. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. Tom Clark's Main Event.